All right, what's going on, guys? This is Sean from Southwestern Studio. I'm back again after a year with another video, and for today's topic, we're going to be talking about the iPhone 17 Pro Max versus the Sony A7RV with the 2470 G Master for photos. So let's go ahead and take a quick comparison and see what kind of shots we get right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a couple of comparison shots of the photos coming out of the iPhone 17 Pro and also coming out of the Sony A7RV. Okay, so now this is not really a fair comparison, but we like to do these things anyway. So of course, the photos that you're going to get are going to be superior coming out of this, but we just want to see just how well the new iPhones do keep up. So keep in mind, we're going to use the lens on this one, which is going to be the 24mm lens with the 48 megapixel sensor on it. Small sensor, but it's 48 megapixels. Now, on the other hand, we have the full frame 61 megapixel sensor here on the Sony A7RV. So again, it's really an apples to oranges comparison, but we like to make these kind of comparisons here on this channel anyway, and just kind of see the results that we get. So if you look over here, we see a nice little tranquil fall day. We got ducks, we got birds, we got green leaves, we got yellow leaves, we got red leaves, and we got some nice looking trees. And we also got a little pond. So we're gonna go ahead and try and capture all of that in the photo that we're taking out of both devices. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, we finished the photo of the fall scene, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to one of these big old giant redwood trees out here and go take the same type of photo and kind of see what resolution we get out of that one too. A little bit different circumstances also too, but just as nice. Keep in mind that the A7RV, it's 61 megapixels, that's a huge amount, and it's really meant for maximum resolution, dynamic range, and also being able to blow up pictures pretty big. I think iPhone still does pretty well in that regard, but we'll go ahead and take a look at this one too as well and see how everything looks. And then also, just to give you a size comparison of this huge tree, I'm gonna walk over there. And you're gonna see just how massive this thing is. Okay, keep in mind, I am 6'5" tall, and this thing is many times taller than me. So let's go take a look. Anyway, so we're gonna head back over to Lightroom right now and go ahead and take a look at the photos and just see what happens with this 48 megapixel little mini sensor versus the big full frame 61 megapixel sensor. Okay, so now we're here at Lightroom. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the photos. Basically what I'm looking for is, we're just gonna see what kind of resolution we get. I like to play around with the raw photos, so a little bit later on, I'm gonna go ahead and put the edited photos at the very end. But we really just want to see like where that resolution is and what we're squeaking out of the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and then just like what we're getting from the A7RV. So again, it's comparing apples to oranges. So we know that the A7RV is going to be superior technically in almost every way to the iPhone 17 Pro. but we do want to see just what results we are getting out of the Pro compared to that. And that way you can kind of have a little benchmark as to what it's looking like. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we're gonna go ahead into Lightroom now. And let's go ahead and get this started. Okay, so let's get this up here. And so right now, right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead and take a look right here. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a second to guess which one is which. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so the one on the left-hand side is the A7RV, and the one on the right-hand side is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Both were shot in RAW, but as you can tell, the iPhone 17 Pro Max does definitely have some more processing going on. Now, when you look at both photos, again, these are RAW photos. When you look at both photos, you can really see that the iPhone 17 does have a lot of sharpening already applied to it and all that, and looks like the shadows are kind of brought out, and in general, the colors are a little bit punchier. So, but again, what we want to do is we want to go and see the resolution too, especially how it stacks up to the A7R5. So let's go ahead and go into both images, and really right off the bat, so right over here, right over here, you can see just how clearer this bark is right here compared to the 17 Pro Max. But the 17 Pro Max is not bad, I have to say. Let's go ahead and go and look at some more of these branches. So you can really see the difference right here. We can still see the texture, the real sharp texture over here on the A7R5. And then the iPhone 17, this texture gets a little bit muddier. Going around some more, you can see the fine detailing of these of the trees right here, of the little pines on here. And then if you look at the iPhone 17 Pro Max, it gets it's pretty blurry. It's pretty blurry and a little bit muddy out there too as well. So this all just kind of blends in with each other, versus if you look at the A7R5, of course, you're seeing almost every individual strand. So of course, it's again, it's a 61 megapixel full frame sensor versus a 48 megapixel, but like a little mini sensor. So we're basically getting what we expect out of it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the pine cones over here. And pine cones over here, nice and sharp on the A7R5, and on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, not really nearly as sharp, but still not bad. Okay. Again, we have to take these with a grain of salt. So this actually right here, this part of the tree doesn't look that bad. Okay. Matter of fact, I want to say that it looks almost a little bit better than the A7R5. Definitely some more processing going on here and all that too as well. But so we have, let's look at the leaves right here too as well. So you can really see the sharpening, the over sharpening in the iPhone 17 Pro Max versus the A7R5. And again, go back out and we can really see that on the R5, definitely need to bring those shadows up a bit, but on the Pro Max, it looks like those shadows are already kind of punched up a bit too as well. So let's take one more little look at this. Take a look at the water, and kind of similar water patterns. I'm not seeing a huge difference like with the leaves and the water and all that. Let's see here. The leaves over on this side too as well. So the ones here, you can see this one's slightly out of focus, these leaves here. On the 17 Pro Max though, it actually handles it pretty well too. So I think all in all, it's, of course there's a difference. Of course we're seeing the resolution at maximum zoom, but realistically, these photos are pretty similar, coming from a small sensor and then all of a sudden to a huge sensor. And which also makes it that much more impressive too when you do see the difference in the hardware. So for example, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, there's your camera right there. And then this is going up against this big beast right over here too. So it was a 2470 G Master on the A7R5. So let's see if we can kind of get another comparison. Here we go. This glass versus this glass. But then we get these images which are pretty good on both of them, of course. Similar enough. until we just do like a super crop in, and then we can really see the difference on here too. But again, it's not really bad. So that 48 megapixels really does help on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I think if we had less than that, then of course, you know, we'd get a lot more blurriness and all that. So it does really help. But it does kind of hold its own against this too. So I'm pretty impressed with the 17 Pro Max, and definitely glad that I finally upgraded to this system. And so far, it's been pretty good too as well. So what I'm going to do for the last little bit is we're going to go ahead and edit these photos, make them look nice and neat, go ahead and show them and put them, like, compare them to each other up on here, and then we see what we get. And then beyond that, you know, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on editing these photos right now, and we will see what they look like at the end of this video. And I'm actually kind of excited to find out.